This your boy Jaystar back again with another video for you. We got the top 5 wide receivers of the week, man. Week 2 slate, baby. And we going to get right into it, man. Like I tell you, when I go through these receivers, man, I'm going through matchups with the worst cornerbacks, the worst defenses, to be going against that type of position. Everything like that, man. That's what I do when I pick my, because I really want to get the most fantasy points, of course, and I want to make sure that matchup is the weakest matchup for that receiver to be going against, and just the defense, the defensive strategy, the way they play them, if that receiver is going against a defense that's basically going to be one-on-one a lot with that receiver, then that's how I'm picking these receivers, man. Like, I'm not just playing, just a name, you know what I mean? Just because that's a name, a big name. But I actually care about the actual defensive matchup that they're going against, who's the cornerback actually going to be lined up with them most of the time, or where are they going to move around to pick on the weakest cornerback. All that type of stuff, man. I really dig deep into detail when I pick out, my receivers or any position, like I said, in my top 5. But we're going to get right into it with the number 5 pick this week, and it's DeVante Adams, man. DeVante Adams, man, I expect him definitely. 17 targets, man. How could he not make the top 5? Like, that was ridiculous. I didn't expect him to get that many targets, but definitely Carr. We see who his number 1 option is going to be now. It's not going to be Waller anymore. It's definitely going to be DeVante Adams, and I feel like he's going to move around. He can just run every route on the field, and you can move him anywhere. And the way Carr is looking for him, they're going to move him everywhere to make sure he lines up with the worst matchup. And Arizona, their cornerbacks out wide already aren't really that good. And I just expect DeVante to move left and right, even inside if he wants to as well. But left and right, wide out cornerbacks aren't really that good. I expect him to get, maybe even just 10 to 12 targets, maybe a little less than 17, because I expect the ball to be spread out a little more in this game. But DeVante Adams definitely still has to make my top 5 for that reason, just the fact that he has a good matchup no matter where he lines up basically on that field, left or right. He has a good matchup and he can dispose of it. And if he's going to get 12 targets, I just don't know, like, how is he not going to get to another, 100-yard game? I just, could be, or it could just be, more touchdowns in this game, like, for him. But definitely has to make my top 5 for that reason. And then we move on to number 4 on my list. And we have, let me move it down a little bit here. And we have Courtland Sutton, man. I know his game, against, who's that? I want to say, I almost said this Denver because I'm thinking of Russell now being his quarterback. Almost messed me up. But, yeah, against the Seahawks, man, I expected a little bit more from him. But I do know that, the route running ability of actual Jerry Jeudy benefited him a lot in that game. But Sutton, in this game against Houston, man, we already saw what Michael Pittman did out wide against Houston. And I just expect the same for Sutton, man. He lines out wide. Jeudy is more in and out. They look like they moving him more this season. He was just in the slot most of the time before. But now I seen him moving in or out, so lines out wide. But Sutton's mostly going to be lined out wide most of the whole game. And it looks like, man, that wide out cornerback against Houston, also because one of them is a rookie too as well, and the other one is just not as good. So I expect Sutton to have a big game here, man. Definitely paying off 6,100. And I expect Russell Wilson to more want to make a connection more with his number 1 receiver at 6'4", man. Same height really almost as Michael Pittman, really. So I just expect the same type of results. We had 30-something fantasy for Pittman. I expect the same for Sutton, in this game. So that's why I'm looking at Sutton as my number 4 pick of this week, man. And then we're going to move on, though, to the number 3 pick this week, man. And it's Jamar Chase, man. Jamar Chase is just in a great situation for the last game here of the slate, one of the last games at least. And just in a great position, especially if Higgins cannot go. And I don't think, let me look at this one more time, though. Suffering concussion. Yeah, so he got to clear concussion protocols. If he clears, then definitely he's a good pick too as well. But if he doesn't clear, then Chase is, oh my God, he's gonna be worth this $8,000. I can just see him exposing Diggs and on the other side, the other cornerback on the other side as well. And real talk, I just feel like they're gonna move him all around. And Dallas gave up the slot too as well. So, and Chase was moving in and out of the slot from the game I saw against Pittsburgh. And I just feel like it's going to be a headache to just stick this guy, like, for real, in this game, man. Like, Burrow, I feel like, is going to want to bounce back, and Chase is definitely not. You want to wipe that L off their mouth, that they had against the Steelers, which they should have won the game. That kick getting blocked messed up everything, and then the missed kick in overtime as well. But I expect Chase to bounce back really big here. Could go for 30 fantasy easily. Like especially though, like I said, if Higgins is out, I definitely see he could have a 17 target game in this game really. But we'll see, man. But that's why I had to put Chase on my on my top 3, man, on the list of the top 5 as well. But we're gonna move on to the number 2, which I know y'all probably gonna be surprised about this one. But number 2 on this list is Cooper Kupp, man. The matchup, the type of defense that Atlanta plays is just a perfect defense for Kupp to just get off, man. Already came off a big game anyways against a harder defense at that, so it's going to be so hard not to have Kupp in your lineup, man, at 9,900 though. I mean, you're going to have to find some value, which I'll go over more of that. We have a value video that comes out too in the week, about like Saturday or Friday night. But the strategy video will also be able to give you like full, strategy on each game, so y'all can hear about receivers that might be real cheap there too as well when I go through each game. But by far, Kupp, man, the matchup here, man, he's, oh my God, he already had 1 million targets in his first game anyways, and I expect he's going to have a DeVante Adams, I feel like, of targets this game. I expect him to score multiple times. He could get 2 touchdowns in that game since he's like their first red zone option on the Rams too. So it's multiple touchdown game for him, man. You talking about a 40-point, could look just like what Jefferson did against the Packers, man. My Packers just got exposed real bad, man, with Jefferson. So I expect though, like Michael Thomas put up 2 touchdowns. Jarvis had a good game too. It was 2 receivers went off against Atlanta. Kupp is basically 2 receivers right now on this team. So, oh my God, you can expect about 40 fantasy maybe. But that's why he's number 2 on my list. But at number 1 on my list, I know this is a surprise right here, but it's got to be Terry McLaurin, man. Terry McLaurin, man. I know he only had 4 targets, caught 2, 58 yards and a touchdown. I expect a huge game for him, and I expect some people to be off of him because of this result here. We talking about, what's that, about like 13 points, 12 points, something like that he had his first game there. And I just expect people to be off of him, and I expect a big bounce back game, and I expect multiple opportunities to score against Detroit. They're one of the worst defensive teams, y'all. And we saw it against the Philly. You know what I'm saying? And Philly wasn't even going. I mean, Philly is not even a super pass team. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have a rushing quarterback. And over here, though, this time they're going actually against a passing, quarterback in Wentz. And I expect him to hit his number 1 target with a bounce back game for him, because McLaurin did not have the greatest game, did not get targeted as much as I thought he would in his first game. But I expect a huge game. I expect 10 targets for him. Coming off of 4 targets, yeah, let's bump that up, 6 more targets. And I expect an explosion game, because in 4 targets, he had 12 fantasy points. Can you imagine if he got 6 more targets, what he could have did? You putting 4 more on top of that already, it's already just adding doubling, and it's about 24 points. And I'm saying then 2 more targets or so, on top of that. And then you talking about a 30 fantasy point game for McLaurin. You know what I mean? That's a big bounce back game for him. So I really expect that. That's why he is my number 1. Like I said, also the defense, just the matchup, the actual defense, that style that they play, the fast-paced game that I expect this to be, the multiple options of that Wentz has to get down the field with and get McLaurin a touchdown multiple times in this game is why he's my number 1 option, man. So I know, like I said, I'm sure y'all probably want to argue with me, and everybody's going to have Kupp as their number 1. But I got to give this mention to McLaurin, man, because it's just a great matchup, a great bounce back for him coming off of that whack game that he had week 1, But big game I expect out of him, man, and I'm definitely putting him in my lineups because of that, and that's why he's my number 1 option. It's your boy Jaystar. I hope y'all enjoyed this top 5 receiver video. If you have any other receivers you want to talk about, leave them in the comments below. And like I said, I will be dropping a full strategy video though for y'all to going over every game and every receiver and every other position, so y'all can hear about how I feel about those people and by the matchup and stuff that they have, and put them in your lineups if you want to or not, But it's your boy Jaystar. I hope y'all enjoyed the top 5 wide receiver video. And stay tuned for all of the other videos this week. And I'm out. Peace.